Welcome students to the lecture number 3rd of BRM. In previous classes, we have talked about different definitions of research, some concepts, scientific method, etc. In this regard, today we have got a new topic by the name of characteristics of a good research. You know, nowadays, many more people are conducting research and they are thinking that we are good researchers. But according to different authors, there are some characteristics of a good research. If your research is according to those characteristics or standards, it is called a good research. Otherwise, it is called not a good research. So, I have written some 9 characteristics of good research and will explain them one by one. Number 1, purpose clearly defined. Purpose clearly defined. You know that the foundation of research, from where research starts. In very first lecture, I have told you that we are conducting research for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, that we have got a problem in our organization and we want to find out a solid solution for that problem. To make this solution logical, well-led, out of question, we are conducting a research. Or to find out a scientific solution for our problem, we are conducting research. So based on that specific problem, we are conducting a research. Sometimes this problem may be a generalized problem, which, like most of the organizations are facing the same problem. We were calling it primary research. No, basic research or primary research. Sometimes we are conducting a research to make wide the existing borders of knowledge, means to come up with a new theory, with a new model, with a new experiment, to add something new to the existing knowledge or education. This was also called primary research. Here, adding something new to the education is the basic purpose. Over there, to find out solution for a generalized problem, for a general problem faced by many organizations, that was the purpose. Or sometimes in organization we have got a specific problem faced by an organization, not by all of the organization, but just this problem is faced by one organization. So that type of research, we are calling it applied research. Whether the research is primary research or applied research, but the purpose should be very much clear, or it should be crystal clear, because when the purpose is ambiguous, we will not be able to go in the proper direction. Based on the purpose of the research, we are selecting the design of the research, we are selecting the methodology of the research, we are selecting sample size, analysis. All these things we will be studying later on in coming chapters. So all these things are only possible to be selected properly when the purpose of the research is clear. So this is point number 1, purpose clearly defined. Number 2, research process detail. Research process detail, what does it mean? It means that when we are conducting a research, so there are different methods of analysis, different methods of sampling, data collection, etc. Means many more processes are there. Based on the purpose of the research, we are using a specific process, a specific method of research. So the details of that process should be given in your research, or the details of the process should be clear, so that if somebody else is conducting the same research, he should know by which method you have gone, or from this details of the research we can also know that what were the problems with my research, or what were the mistakes in my research. It is not necessary that every research is correct. The conclusion or result of every research will be logical. In most of the cases, the research reach to a wrong conclusion. So when this detail of the process is given, the second researcher will know. If he is repeating the same research, he can go through this process, or he can also find out where the problem was existing in your research. So this is the second characteristics of a good research. Characteristic number third of good research is research design thoroughly planned. Obviously, at the start of the research, we are making planning of the research design. Planning of the research design. Planning of the research design means this is our problem statement, this is our purpose, these are our hypotheses. I have told you we are taking assumption, one positive assumption, one negative assumption. Negative assumption was called null hypothesis, and positive assumption was called alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis were represented by H naught, alternative hypothesis were represented by HA. These things should be clear. You are making plan about the population, sample size. Sample size means number of respondents from whom we are collecting the data, how we are analyzing the data, which statistical tool we are using for analyzing the data. So all these things should be very much clear to you, and these should be mentioned in the research plan. Number 4, high ethical standards applied. Ethics, acceptable principles, or ethics shows what is good and what is wrong. Ethics provides us a framework of operations that you are not allowed to cross this limit while you are conducting your research. In every subject, your teachers are telling you managerial ethics, marketing ethics, advertising ethics, financial ethics, banking ethics, sports ethics, educational ethics. So everywhere there are ethics, means there are principles that this is correct, do it. This is wrong, don't do it. So same is the case with research. High ethical standards should be applied to your research. How? You are conducting the research. You are not allowed to harm the environment, people, person, or animal, whether mentally or physically. In most of the cases, you have seen when people are conducting a survey, so most of the time they are asking, let's suppose 4 or 5 questions related to their field, but some additional questions they are asking from the people, they are hurting the people, psychologically making the person disturbed. This is unethical behavior. So whether it is data collection, whether it is field work, survey, contacting with your respondents, or for example, for data collection, you are calling a person to ask some questions. If he doesn't like to answer you, you should not force him. Or for example, you are calling him midnight, 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. So it means these are unethical behavior. So we should not disturb the people, society, physically or mentally while we are conducting the research. Or some people are reluctant, they don't like to answer your specific question. Or certain times in research, some people are feeling shy or they don't like to share some specific information with you. But still, if you are asking the question again and again and insisting to get the answer of that question, that is unethical behavior. So, be ethical while you are conducting a research. High ethical standards should be applied to the research. Number 5, limitations frankly revealed. Limitations. In your first chapter, while BBA students are writing their monographs, we will discuss one day in your lecture, different chapters, etc. In monograph or thesis writing in your first chapter, you are showing that these were my limitations, mawani, problems, barriers, like time barriers, or for example data collection problem, or security problem, or some respondents were electing to give answers, or your understanding problem, scope of your mentality, or the problem for which I am conducting the research that was too vast beyond my capability. So whatever barrier or limitation you have faced or you are facing in the research, that should be clearly represented in your research, that these were my problems, these were the limitations, these were the barriers which I was not able to cover, to handle, to cope with, so that the reader can understand. So limitation frankly revealed, frankly, clearly, openly show it, openly present it with the readers, with your managers. Because if some problem in the conclusion is arising in the future, so you will not be that much responsible because you have clearly mentioned over there. But if you are hiding all these things and some problem arises, so then you will be responsible for that problem because you have not shown in the limitations of the research. In every research, you are clearly mentioning the limitations. Next step is adequate analysis for decision maker need. Decision maker need. You are a researcher, you are conducting research for your client because you want to make some decision based on your research. So the analysis must be adequate. Analysis of your research must be adequate based on the requirement of the decision maker. There should be no exaggeration, mubaligha rai. There should be no personal assumptions, or it should not be based on your personal experience. That we were having this problem in that organization, so now he is facing this problem. Probably this will be the reason. No, it's wrong. Everybody is having its own disease, its own problem. So, your analysis should be according to the requirements of the decision making person or decision maker. Next, finding presented unambiguously. Findings presented unambiguously means whatever you have found, whatever results you have reached in your research, what conclusion you have drawn, that should be crystal clear to the readers. There should be no generalization, there should be no exaggeration, or you should also, in this case, you should not use your personal experience. You should not exaggerate a thing. In most of the cases, researchers, they are writing most of the things based on his experience, previous experience, or certain times they are doing exaggeration. So certain time they are writing things based on his personal liking or dislikings. This is called biasness. Biasness. Number 8, conclusion justified. Whatever conclusion you are drawing over there, whatever result you are taking over there, it should be based on some reasons so that you can justify it. If a person is asking you, so you can show it that I have taken this data, I have analyzed it by this, means proper proof should be there for your conclusion. It should not be baseless. Baseless conclusion is research means that you have not conducted the research. You are talking from your own stomach, not from logic. Research you are conducting because we want our answer logically. We want a scientific answer or scientific solution to our problem. Next thing or next characteristics of a good research is researcher's experience reflected. It is a general characteristics that whenever you are conducting a research, so obviously the result, the process, the methodology, the design of the research should reveal that you are a true researcher or you are an experienced researcher. So this was our third lecture of BRM, in which we explained generally some characteristics of a good research. Thank you very much, students. We'll see you in the next class. Khuda Hafiz.